So what is the craziest thing you've ever seen, and did you post it?
There's been so much crazy. One was literally like a home on fire in Tennessee. Like that was the first image. It was just ablaze. You know it right off the bat if it's wild. And that one is just like, whoa. And then there was one in Florida, which was on stilts. The homes around it were washed away. You could see them like half their house on poles in the middle of the water. It's for sale for like $1 million.
Have you ever thought about being a real estate agent? Samir, I am so excited that you are here. Ladies and gentlemen, sit down and grab your popcorn because I am here today with Samir Mezrahi, Zillow Gone Wild. I mean, I have to tell you, I don't know that I'm going to be able to let him get off of this recording because I'm so excited. I have so much to chat with you about. I have something that we have in common that you probably don't even know. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for an exciting episode of Glenda's Guru. So, Samir, welcome, welcome, welcome. For anybody who doesn't know you, give us a brief introduction about you and a little bit about Zillow Gone Wild.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. Happy to have me on, as I like to say. Brief introduction about me. Where do we start? I don't know. I've been on the internet for a long time. I am currently running Zillow Gone Wild, which is so much fun. Been doing it since late 2001. I forget time. Sometimes I think it's 2020 and sometimes I think it's 2021, but I'm pretty sure it's 2021. Um, it's been so much fun. I've always been interested in real estate and I spend most of my time doing that. And then a little bit on the side, I like to review celeb homes and kind of critique current trends, loving them or hating them. But I'm really happy to be here to talk to you today.
Well, you know, you're not a real estate agent.
No,
And
I'm just a fan.
I think that that is part of the beauty of Zillow Gone Wild because we actually see it from the perspective of a consumer, the vantage point of someone
Hmm.
who is who just likes to scroll houses. And so when I was doing some research and getting ready for our interview today, I know that you find a lot of the houses that you talk about, but people send you stuff. I would assume that there's a lot of that, correct?
Tons. Thankfully, it's like so top of mind, and I think like the biggest real estate like property out there. And people are just like Zillow browsers. People are so on top of their local markets, especially, and Zillow tells you, how old a listing is, and it's always like today, 6 hours ago, 10 hours ago. And it's a lot of combing through my inbox because people are sending me listings constantly. It's kind of scary because they'll send me a message and be like, look at picture number 14. And I'll be like, I don't know. What is it going to be? And sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's not so wild. And everything in between. But it's always fun because I never know what kind of new home things I'm going to see. Like today, someone sent me, they made their pool into a bar. Like you walk down to the pool and there's a bar in there, things that I never could have created on my own and imagined on my own. So it's a lot of fun. Like I said, like it's a lot of just user submissions, combing like what sticks out, what the audience will love.
I love that. Well, it's funny because when you talked about like 6 hours on the market, like Zillow really kind of created this like shelf life because like I've been selling real
Hmm.
estate since Jesus was a baby. The house could have been on the market 6 months and we didn't think it was stale. And then comes
Hmm.
along Zillow, and a lot of people have their search set up for days on market. And I always laugh. I'm single. You know, I'm a middle-aged woman here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm single. I always laugh and say Tinder should have a days on market counter because what people think is if it's been on the market too long, what's wrong with it, right?
For
So,
sure. That's genius. We need to call
but
them up, have them do
I'm
that.
I'm telling you, or maybe I should do like Tinder Gone Wild. I love that. Maybe you should have like a little episode of that. But one
That's
thing I
phase
bet
two.
that you, I bet one thing that you don't know about me is that I I featured your Zillow Gone Wild listing of the Royal Caribbean icon of the seas.
Hmm.
I was on that ad campaign as well,
Hmm.
talking about that house. And so that's kind of things that are really interesting to me is that people reach out to you and want to be featured on your Zillow Gone Wild. I would assume homeowners, correct?
Totally. A lot of homeowners, a lot of agents have started to reach out, which I love that like it's spreading and like when like in advance they'll be like, "Oh, I've got something coming up and would love to get it on there." So, yeah, I feel like it's kind of an honor. And I do try to make it like fun and not hating on the homes, like celebrating the homes. So like often I'll reach out, like the audience loves a mid-century modern, and I'll be like, I would love to post this. And sometimes they'll be like, isn't your site like the wild homes and like be worried about it? And then I'll send them examples of past ones I've done. And I'll be like, no, like we love these homes. Like it's going to get positive reception and like you won't be able to reach as many people as you will for it to be on. And almost always people are like, yes, I've gotten a few random no's, often from the homeowners, but it's interesting because these are out there anyways, or like you can see how many views they have. Like sometimes it's just tens of thousands and it's like, there's no, I mean, any more eyeballs are more possibilities to sell the home, which is why they're listed.
100%, 100%. It's interesting because here in Atlanta, we've got a house here on the market for $46 million. And it's so interesting to me to see the comments that people post when people repost that. So let me ask you a question. So, what is the craziest thing you've ever seen, and did you post it?
There's been so much crazy, and it varies, and then also always have to get permission from the agents or realtors or whoever. Um, Two come to mind. One was literally like a home on fire in Tennessee. Like that was the first image. It was just ablaze. I guess it was kind of a historic mansion there, but like sometimes, you know it right off the bat if it's wild. And that one is just like, whoa, like this place is up in flames. And then there was one in Florida, which was on stilts. And like if like the homes around it were washed away, you could see them like half there. And it's like, how do you even get into this house? I guess it was made pretty sturdily to handle hurricanes and stuff. And they had tried to keep it there for a while. It was for sale for like $1 million. And finally, I saw many months after that they had to tear it down. Like the town was like, you can't keep it. But just like house on poles in the middle of the water. If you go back on Google Images, you can see that there used to be kind of a neighborhood there. But that's just like some very wild homes. Like you can't even get into the home. Wild.
So you checked back a couple of months later on the house in Florida that was on stilts.
Hmm. And they had deemed it like like they had to tear it down unsafe. Um, and yeah, it's just crazy. Like it was on sale for $1 million. If you look at old Google Maps photos, you could see that the neighborhood was there once and it was all washed away. And, like you can't even get into the house. Like where does the plumbing? I don't know how any of it worked, but the view was nice. But just totally
Oh,
like I don't know. There's a
it
lot of
just
yeah, it's crazy.
it just washed away.
It didn't wash away yet, and they were very strong about that. But yeah, there was a bulldozer many months later that had to tear it down.
So Samir, tell me, what does 2024 look like for you? Like where are you going with your Zillow Gone Wild? Do you have another business that you're working on? What are you excited about 2024?
Mostly the show. There's going to be a Zillow Gone Wild show on HGTV coming out early next year. Super excited about that. That's like the big thing. Thank you. Been working on it for a long time, and just growing the account. I feel like it's only like two something years old. I think there's so much more potential for growth, for awareness. Like every agent should think about me when they have something wild or interesting to sell. Yeah, just expanding the world of it. Other businesses, I also like review homes and stuff myself, so being able to have more time to do that and to get out and about too. I say I'm just usually a guy behind a computer, so it's nice to be able to go see homes and listings in real life. I was in Oklahoma last week, and there's a Frank Lloyd Wright home in Tulsa, which I got to see in person, which was really cool. 8 million bucks. I think they just announced it's going to auction. So if anyone wants to buy an iconic house, that's for sale. But yeah, being able to go to do more in my own space and then expanding the Zillow Gone Wild world.
Have you ever thought about being a real estate agent?
I have maybe, but I something where access is different if I'm actually an agent. And like I like being on the fun side, and I know that like you've got to sell homes and do that too, which probably helps being out there like this. But yeah, I like being in the like on the editorial only side for now, but you never know.
I love it. So in your HGTV series, I'm assuming you go to 123 Banana Street and you get to tour these beautiful or these wild houses. Is that correct?
I'm not going to be on it. There's going to be a host, which hasn't been
Mm.
announced yet. But yeah, they'll be touring a few of the homes. I got to go see some of the taping a few months ago. It should be really fun.
That is amazing. I am so excited. And talk about a series that people are not going to be able to look away from. I mean, I just feel like, and this is the thing is like getting in and going in real time, in real life. Like it just brings the engagement, it brings the viewership, and it brings the viewer along for a ride. I think that you don't see in pictures and you don't even see in scripted videos. So I'm going to be excited to watch that.
For sure. Yeah. Going to them in real, like in person. Yeah. The photos, photographers are magicians, and like being able to see like space and scale in person with video and even like location. Some of them you don't realize where they are relative to other homes and what neighborhoods and like what like the whole like vibe of them is. Like that Frank Lloyd Wright house is just in the middle of it's a nice neighborhood, but like there's no fence around it. It's just this like art in the middle of the block. Like anyone could have a like any house is down the street, but there just happens to be this iconic one.
You know, I have a house for sale. Well, it's under contract, and it is by Robert Greene, which was the last apprentice of Frank Lloyd Wright. And the house is
Nice.
in my neighborhood. And I remember just walking into this mid century modern and just the vibe of it, the feel of it, the tongue and groove ceilings, just the way the floor to ceiling, and this house was built in 1973, floor to ceiling windows really bringing the outside in and the architecture and the landscape. It's literally, if you haven't had the opportunity to be inside and see, touch, feel the product, it's so different. And I think that one
Hmm.
thing that Zillow Gone Wild has, personally myself, I think that one of the successes of it is you have given the everyday person things to dream about and things to scream about. And to me, I think that that really is the beauty of Zillow Gone Wild and what you've been able to do with it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think being able to bring a range of like I think it's like from mansions and beautiful mid-century moderns. I say like I've been radicalized. I didn't love a lot of this stuff before. I didn't never cared about a mid-century modern. And now that I've learned more and I see them and like there's some amazing like gorgeous ones, especially out in like Palm Springs and Beverly Hills, like in perfect condition. From that to like just like someone's home. There was one in Phoenix where the guy had converted it like his first floor into a mini golf like putting, and it's just like just the options and some people with a little bit too much disposable income and very specific taste, but just so much fun to see like what people do in their homes and their spaces, and like your home is so personal and private, and just being able to see a window into taste and interests is it's been pretty cool. And like I never know
Yeah.
what new things I'll see every day.
Well, I have certainly enjoyed your videos, your social media, your newsletter. I signed up long time ago, and it's funny because when we were introduced, I was telling my daughter, I'm like, I am gonna get to talk to the Zillow Gone Wild guy, and it's like the Zillow Gone Wild brand is you. So I'm honored that you took your time to be with us. I know that we had a
Of
little bit
course,
of
anytime.
technical difficulties, but I'm glad that you hung in there with me. So thank you very much. Now, Samir, what is the best way for people to find you, contact you, engage with your content?
DMs, email, that's on the Instagram account. Anyway, I'm checking it all, basically always looking for new homes, always looking to see what's out there.
Well, and it's very interesting. You are a great example of Google because literally I put in Samir and I put in ZI and it literally populated everything, how to find you, where you
That's funny.
are, and your contact information. So you
Scary.
are,
I gotta get it
yeah,
off there.
no, don't ever. But thank you so much for hanging out with us for a little while. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been with Samir Mezrahi, the founder of Zillow Gone Wild, and I hope that you have enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for being Glenda's guru. And as always, you can only find Glenda's gurus in the Glenda Gazette. So click, tap, and follow. We would love to see you and see more of you.